stock company. Today we are going to study the features of joint stock company. The first point, voluntary association. Any person can purchase shares and become a member of the company. The company is a voluntary association. No difference is made on the basis of religion, caste, and creed. The second point, registration. The registration of joint stock company is compulsory. All the companies have to be registered under Indian Companies Act 2013. A private limited company can start its business immediately after getting incorporation certificate, while public limited company has to obtain certificate of commencement of business before it starts business. The third point, registered office. Registered office of the company is a place where all the important documents of the company are kept. Example, register of members, annual returns, and minutes books. All correspondence work of the company is done through registered office. The address of the registered office has to be mentioned in the domicile clause of the company. The fourth point, artificial legal person. A company is an artificial person created by law. It has an independent legal status. It has a separate name. It can enter into contracts, buy and sell property in its name. The company is distinct from its members. The next point, separate legal status. The company is created by law. It has a separate legal entity. A company acts independently. The company can take legal action against anybody in its individual capacity. The next point, common seal. A company, being an artificial person, cannot sign on its own. The law requires every company to have a seal and have its name engraved on it. Common seal is a symbol of company's incorporate existence. As company seal is the signature of the company, it has to be affixed on all important documents of the company. When the seal is used, it has to be witnessed by two directors of the company. The common seal is under the custody of company secretary. The seventh point, limited liability. The liability of shareholders is limited. It depends upon the unpaid amount of shares held by them. Shareholders cannot be held personally liable for the debts of the company. The next point, transferability of shares. Shareholders are the owners of the company. Shares of a public limited company are freely transferable. There is a high degree of liquidity involved in buying shares of the company. Members can buy or sell shares as needed. However, there are restrictions on transferability of the shares of a private company. The next point, separation of ownership and management. Persons investing in the shares of the company are called as shareholders. They are the owners of the company. They receive a share in the profits of the company called dividend. The large number of shareholders cannot manage business. They elect representatives who are collectively called as board of directors. They manage business of the company. The 10th point, perpetual succession. A joint stock company enjoys a long and stable life. There is continuity in existence, which means perpetual existence. Life of the company is not affected by life of the shareholders. If a shareholder dies, becomes insolvent or insane, the company will not be closed down. Members may come and members may go, but a company goes on forever. The last point, membership. A company is an association of persons. A private limited company must have at least 2 persons and a public limited company must have at least 7 persons. The maximum limit of members for a private company is 200. A public company can have unlimited members. Now let us see the merits of joint stock company. The first point, large amount of capital. A company can collect large amount of capital. There is no limit on maximum number of members. Due to features of limited liability, transferability of shares and liquidity, many investors are attracted to become shareholders of the company. Loans are also available to joint stock companies. The next point, professional management. Large funds are at the disposal of the companies. Therefore, experts can be appointed in different areas of business. As good salaries can be paid, highly qualified personnel like cost accountants, sales experts, market experts, and many more can be appointed. Even board of directors have competent persons who manage business efficiently. The next point, more scope for expansion. The capital raising capacity of the company is high. The company has a lot of funds at its disposal. A part of the profit is also ploughed back for business. This enables growth and expansion of business. The fourth point, public confidence. Joint stock company has to publish books of accounts, which is audited by chartered accountant. Annual reports of the company have to be published. The activities of the company are regulated by the provision of Companies Act 2013. Therefore, the company gets public support. The next point, relief in taxation. The tax burden in the company is less. Provisions of Income Tax Act says that companies have to pay tax at flat rate. This is less than taxes paid by individuals earning very high income. If company is started in backward areas, the company gets relief in the form of tax holding. The next point, expert services. Joint stock company can appoint experts for managing their huge business operations. They appoint experts like legal advisors, management experts, auditors, consultants, and many more. The seventh point, perpetual succession. Joint stock company enjoys long and stable life. Its stability is not affected by death, insolvency, or retirement of any of its members. The last point, limited liability. The liability of shareholders is limited. It is to the extent of unpaid value of shares. Shareholders cannot be liable for the debts of the company. Features of limited liability attract more investors to business. Now let us see the demerits of joint stock company. The first point, rigid formation. The formation of a joint stock company is lengthy, difficult, and time consuming. There are many legal formalities for starting business. Promoters have to prepare documents like articles of association, memorandum of association, etc. A private company has to go through 2 stages in formation. A public company has to go through 4 stages in formation. The next point, lack of secrecy. The management of companies remain in the hands of many persons. Everything is discussed in the meetings of board of directors. All important documents are available at registered office for inspection. Thus, there is no secrecy in business matters. The third point, delay in decision making process. In company form of organization, no single individual can make a policy decision. All important decisions are taken by board of directors. Decision taking process is time consuming. Business may lose opportunities because of delay in decision making. The next point, no personal contact. There are large number of employees in the organization. There is no personal contact of owners and managers with employees. Lack of appreciation demotivates employees. Similarly, managers and directors are not able to maintain personal contacts with their customers. Thus, customers' likes and dislikes are ignored. The fifth point, high cost of management. The management of joint stock company form of organization is costly. Services of experts like share brokers, underwriters, solicitors, bankers is needed, which is costly. Highly qualified staff is needed. They are paid good salaries. Dissolution of the firm is also costly. The last point, reckless speculation. Directors look after management of the company. They have full information about the progress of the company. They use these details for speculation in shares. This results in fluctuations in share prices. This affects public confidence. Hope you all have understood the features, merits and demerits of joint stock company.